Hey, everybody. Um, as most of you know, I don't really do this whole Facebook Live thing very often, but I was feeling really inspired because I just finished a remote CAP session with a few people, and some really interesting stuff is becoming apparent to me through all of this. I don't need to remind any of you that we're in just a really crazy, unprecedented time right now. And there is a lot of uh, heavy stuff happening in the world, and we're all feeling it. Um, as you know, as most of you know, CAP is something that is really important to me in my life. It's become just an invaluable tool. For those of you that don't know, KAP stands for Kundalini Activation Process. It's a form of energy transmission. Um, but what's happening right now for me is, several weeks ago when the whole coronavirus thing started to become apparent that it was going to shut things down, we had to close down the in-person classes. I started to take this online. I'd actually been doing some online transmissions before that, just kind of checking it out with friends and family while I was traveling. And now that I've had the opportunity to do several virtual group classes, I'm noticing something that's really profound and beautiful. If you've done CAP in person, you know that a lot of the times when we go around and we share at the end of the session, people are having similar experiences sometimes in the session. Whether it's visual experiences that are similar, or energetic experiences, or realizations, or releases, or what have you. People will oftentimes report during the same session having encountered similar things. And that's pretty astounding in and of itself. When you have a group of people who all have their eyes closed and they're on this internal journey to have similar experiences is pretty profound as it is. But what I'm finding beautiful is that in the remote sessions, this is also happening. And the reason that I feel so excited by this is that it's a clear example of us being able to tune into what's known as the quantum field. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a scientific background. Some of you are familiar with this term, some of you aren't. In the most simplistic terms, the quantum field is basically the field of energy, if you will, that is everywhere. It has no boundaries by time or space. When you experience things like synchronicity, when you think about someone and then suddenly they text you an hour later, that's because that thought went out into the quantum field. And the quantum field is basically the field that science recognizes is an interconnectivity of all things. And what's happening in the world at large right now, through this tragic coronavirus, there's no way around the tragedy of the lives that are lost and the isolation that people are going through and the suffering. So not to diminish that in any way, but one of the things that's coming up through all this, through this process, is connectivity, that we're all interconnected. And the virus is showing us this. We are connected through things that we can tangibly see, like a virus, and we're connected through all of this quantum energetic field that we can't touch or see, but we're connected through it nonetheless. And what I'm seeing in the CAP sessions is proof of that. If I have a person here in San Francisco who's experiencing a feeling of needing to release something through the throat area. And during the same time in the session, someone in Denmark is feeling that exact same thing. And keep in mind, if you haven't had KAP, you may not have a clarity around this. We're not seeing each other. No one is seeing each other during the sessions. Everyone is in their own space with their eyes closed, feeling the energy work, but simultaneously having similar experiences. And to me, this is, for lack of a better word, I use this word all the time when I talk about KAP, but it's magical. It's real, tangible proof that this quantum field, this energetic interconnectivity of all things, is not just an intellectual process. It's a visceral, real thing. And we're in a unique time in history and with what's going on in the world to have witness of this on a different level. I don't know that I would have pursued the online group KAP sessions had I not been forced to. I've been doing the one-on-ones and they've been working beautifully, but I don't know that I would have pushed myself into the group situation. But being in isolation and wanting to share this and people still wanting to receive it, the groups are emphatically showing me the interconnectivity of all of us. And so I just wanted to put that out there to all of you, that despite the difficulty of this situation, there's so much fear, there's so much that's unknown. And really, we fear the unknown. We like routine, we like to know what's happening, but we're all in a state of enormous change. And that can be frightening, but we're in it together. And whether we like it or not, but that is, in my opinion, what this virus is bringing us, is clarity on the fact that as a human species, we are not individual, we are not separate from one another, but we are connected. And what I do to you, you do to me. Whether we know that or not, we are affecting one another. So take this time, since we're all in isolation here, to reflect on some of these ideas and to understand how your normal behaviors out in the real world are affecting others. And I think we're going to come through this a better species, better individuals, and there's always a silver lining. This is on such a big scale, it's a little bit hard to see that right now. But if you have any questions, of course, reach out to me. I feel without question that KAP is such a valuable tool for people right now. It's helping us process what's happening on the collective level in a bigger way, because there's what we feel on our external level, but there's so much underlying fear and grief and sadness and pain, and it's dictating behavior. So if we can find ways to constructively process it, that goes to the greater good as well. So my love to all of you. I hope you're doing okay and surviving, and we will get through this together. So enjoy the rest of your day, and love to all of you.